Good evening, Cypress Springs families. This is Miss Preston here to read you an enchanting tale about Hanukkah. It's called Runaway Dreidel, and it's by Leslie Newman, and it's illustrated by Kirsten Brooker. Shall we begin? 'Twas the first night of Hanukkah, and on the 5th floor there was a holiday hustling and bustling galore. Papa was shining the silver menorah. Mama was wrapping a gift for Aunt Dora. Grandpa was slicing up 2 chocolate babkas. Grandpa was grating potatoes for latkes. Sister was stirring the soup with a ladle, and I, at her feet, spun my shiny new dreidel. Each letter flew by, Nun, Gimel, Hey, Shin. It was making me dizzy to see them all spin. So I reached out my fingers to grab my new top, but that silly old dreidel, it just wouldn't stop. It spun round the kitchen and straight down the hall. It spun down the carpet and right up the wall. It spun through the bathroom, right over the sink. It spun through the living room, quick as a wink. It spun toward the front door, which flew open wide, as uncles and cousins and aunts poured inside. Runaway dreidel! I tried to squeeze past, but it was no use, for that toy was too fast. It spun down the 4th floor, past Mrs. Gray's wreath. It spun down the 3rd floor, past Otto's sharp teeth. It spun down the 2nd floor, past my friend Pete. It spun down the 1st floor and onto the street. My family and neighbors all took up the chase, but they were no match for the dreidels' swift pace. It spun past the bakery, right past the holla. The baker was selling cheap, 2 for $1. It spun past the grocer, who gave us a treat to keep up our strength as we raced down the street. It spun past the shoe store and past a boutique. It spun past 2 delis, 1 kosher, 1 Greek. It spun over a taxi and under a truck. A cop tried to stop it, but she had no luck. It spun out of the city and on down the road. Out into the country, it never once slowed. It spun past a barn, a horse, and a cow. We kept up the chase. We couldn't stop now. It spun through a forest, past hundreds of trees. It wouldn't stop, even though I said please. It spun through a valley an inch out of reach. It spun through a clearing, then onto a beach. I ran after my dreidel, my feet in the sand. In a minute, my toy would be safe in my hand. But that dreidel just kept up its dizzying motion. It spun through the water right over the ocean. And then in a wink and a blink of an eye, my dreidel had spun itself up to the sky. It spun past the planets. It spun past the stars. At last, it stopped spinning a stone's throw from Mars. It sparkled and glittered and twinkled and shone like a jewel in the crown of a queen on a throne. We stared at my dreidel, our jaws all gone slack, until Mama said it was time to turn back. At home we ate latkes and lit the menorah, and just for fun we all danced the hora. We opened our presents and ate chocolate gelt. It was then that we noticed how tired we felt. My uncles and cousins and aunts turned to go, so we walked them outside to the street down below. where we sat standing under a shining a star shining bright. Happy Hanukkah to all, and to all a good night. Now, that was a really cute story, but did it remind you of another story that you might have heard? Maybe you've heard the saying, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the... Anyway, if you've never heard of the other story, what was your favorite part of this story? I love music and dancing, so I love the part about dancing the hora. I think I'd like to learn. Thank you for spending this evening with me listening to this story. I hope everyone has a happy holiday and enjoys their time off. I can't wait to see you all in the new year. Join us tomorrow when you'll hear another holiday story from another fabulous reader here at Cypress Springs. Good night.